Hi, my name's Shona from BDS. Thanks for joining me. So this week in our look at everything public sector, we're looking at the types of opportunities that the public sector use. So the first that we're going to look at is a single supplier contract. So this is what most people probably think of the public sector and think of when contracts are made. So that's where X number of something, whether it be number of hours or number of products, are required by the public sector, and they'll put out a contract. A single supplier will win this contract, so they know exactly what they want to be delivered and the price can be determined at that point. So a single supplier, but often this is quite difficult for the solo and small business owners to win that, just because of the volume of goods or services that tend to be involved within that type of contract. So another agreement that's out there and that's much more achievable and much easier for solo and small business owners to win is a framework agreement. So a framework agreement is used when the public sector body doesn't actually know how much of a product they need. So by product I mean goods, services or works. So it could be a one-time purchase or could be a purchase over a longer term. So often these agreements tend to be about 4 years. So it could be like they're buying stationery and they don't know how much stationery they need over the 4-year agreement time, or it could be consultancy that they need and they just don't know how much of that product that they actually need. They could also not be sure how long it's going to last. So you might see frameworks coming out of the current COVID-19 situation where they just don't know how long it's going to last. So they might need a product at the moment, so they put a framework out for it because there's not the obligation on them to buy continuously. They can just buy when they need it. And they also might not know how many suppliers they need to provide a solution for them. So in this case they can use what's called a framework agreement for it. It can either be put out by one buyer or it can be done in collaboration with buyers. So often you get a number of buyers within a locality, location area, geographic location. They might put a collaborative opportunity out together. Also you get public sector buyers who group together, so like APUCs, that's the Advanced Procurement for Universities and Colleges, so they group together for colleges and universities, group together for bigger purchases. Also Scotland Excel in Scotland can form agreements on behalf of all 32 local authorities. Crown and Commercial Services often come up with agreements for public sector bodies throughout the UK. So they can be done collaboratively, but in the same way they can also be done just as a single public sector body looking to buy something. So it's an agreement where they select suppliers and sets the terms and prices. So terms of the contract and the prices of the contract are set for a certain duration. Commonly it's probably 4 years, and they then will select suppliers and call on those suppliers to deliver whatever they need as they need it, as they have the need. So they're commonly set up for things that they need on a routine basis. So that could be maintenance contracts, particularly housing associations would use that, construction contracts, various forms of consultancy. So maybe if they need graphic designers, if they need somebody to come in and advise within procurement to local businesses, all that kind of stuff, office and IT supplies, facilities operations, the list's really endless for what they can use. And although there's no guarantee of any work through a framework agreement, it's being awarded a place in a framework is a sign to others that your business is a key player within the industry, and that's why the public sector body is willing to contract with them. So there's another type of agreement called a dynamic purchasing system. It's similar to a framework agreement, but there are key differences, so it's probably easier if I tell you the main differences between the two. So the first is that a dynamic purchasing system, suppliers can join that at any time, whereas with a framework there'll be a set period or set periods when you can join that. So for example, a dynamic purchasing system, there's the DWP have one for employability, Scottish Government have one for IT service supplies, and both of them are open and people can join them at any point through the contract period. Whereas frameworks, normally you've got a limited time at the beginning of the contract when you can join that. That would normally be 4 or 6 weeks, so when that's the point when you submit your tender. But some do, like, so Glasgow City Council has one for social work services. So it was open summer 2 years ago and it's opening again summer this year. But it's very strict on the periods when it will open. Scotland Excel have some contracts along the same lines. So another difference between the two is that for a dynamic purchasing system, there's no direct award of contracts. So they can't just say, we'll choose this supplier off the list. Frameworks, in some situations, they can, or the buyer can choose just to award to somebody. So sometimes frameworks will be ranked and all work would be offered to the top ranking supplier. So that'll be based on the score that they're given during the evaluation. So that can be done then, or they can, also they could do it on a basis where, like, supplier 1 got the contract last time, so supplier 2 is going to get it next time, supplier 3 the time after that. Other times, or what I didn't say about the ranking one is if the top supplier can't deliver, then it would then automatically go to the second and the third. So they can also do mini competition, which is how dynamic purchasing systems would work. So they'll say, we've got this requirement, send it out to everybody that has applied and been successful, and they would then decide if they can deliver, and they could submit a quote and the other information that's been asked for at that time. So within a dynamic purchasing system, the pricing is agreed, determined at the contract award stage. So that's at the point when you're submitting your mini competition. Whereas with a framework, the pricing is often normally fixed at the point of the tender. So at the point, like, that could be 4 years before you're actually delivering, but you're submitting it then. Dynamic purchasing system, unlimited number of suppliers can join, and with a framework you should be told at the outset how many suppliers are joining that. It could also, for a framework, be a single supplier framework, and that's just, they call it a framework because they don't know how much what their demand's going to be on that, how much they're going to have to buy. So that's just a quick talk through of a few different agreements that the public sector use. But dynamic purchasing systems and frameworks are often designed so that solo and small business owners are able to apply and able to use them. So thanks very much for joining me, and join me again soon. Thanks. Bye.